Well guys, this is for the Garmin, the GPS. And I really don't know why I'm going crazy with this, because it's the only GPS that I'm aware of, and it was one of their better ones, that no matter how I put the settings, fastest or shortest, it's always taken me the longest. I mean, for some reason, it wants to, for instance, around here, if I got to go from here, there, here, there, so we're talking less than a quarter mile, about a mile and a half, and less than a quarter of a mile. It wants to take me 2.5 miles up here, another 2.5 miles up and around, and another 3.5 miles back down, no matter which way I put it. Now if I'm getting off the exit, that's an entrance. If I'm getting off that exit, all I should be able to do is go here, here, and here. Well, it wants to take me back the same way, no matter which way I set it, if I set it for shortest or fastest. Alright? And no matter which way, fast or short, this way is always the fastest and the shortest. So why the hell does it want to take me all around there? Now, I want to open this, but it looks like I may have an issue here. Now, without going blind, it looks like, and I do not have a snap ring tool. One thing I haven't got, and it looks like that's one thing that I should be looking to use at this point. And I haven't got anything at all that would resemble a snap ring tool. Because it looks like right in here that it's on threads, and I have nothing that actually fit in there. Even a radio remove tool. You know what? Maybe I could, wait a minute, maybe I can use this. I may have to bend those. Yeah, they're not going to match. So I guess if I cut those off, yeah, it may be too thick anyway. Let me see here. If I had a heavy-duty paper clip, I could probably make it work. But see, but like, oh wait a minute, maybe I do. No, I don't. Maybe I do. Maybe. Maybe not. Sugarfoot. Well, how about if I try using 2 screwdrivers? That's not usually the best way to do it, but let's see. Put one there and one in there. I guess I'm going to have to buy a snap ring tool. And you know, I've looked at them time and time again. Especially when you go up to like Tractor Supply, they have those cheap ones, you know, in those racks as soon as you walk in the door. That's not going to work. And that does unscrew according to what I'm seeing here. Well, apparently it's not going to work. So what I need is a longer wire. Now, I could just wire it direct and cut the wire just add on, but I prefer to keep and use this piece. And I don't know why, to be honest with you. I at least have to open it because I want to see if there's any type of regulation going on in there as far as voltage dropping. You know, you're plugging in at the 12 volts, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a 12 volt unit. That could mean that there's a 5 volt adapter or regulator in there dropping it down. Well, let me turn on the light so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Input 10 to 24. Yeah, that's fine. Where's the output, fool? Yeah, output 4.5 to 5.5. Okay, so if I was to cut this and just add it to a 12 volt wire, I'd blow it up. It needs 5, no more than 5.25 volts. 5.25. 5.25. So I got to get in it. Or I'd have to build a regulator, and I don't feel like going into all that. So I am just going to break this open. Screw it. Or try to break it open. Do I have any adhesive? I got some crazy glue adhesive undoer, breaker, or whatever you want to call it. I just don't know. I don't even think that's actually glued together. What do I got here? I got some, I don't think it's got any glue on it, but you know what? Do I have any here? Yeah, I got a little bit left. Let's see. This is a, like a crazy glue remover for if you glue something that you said, oh shit, I shouldn't have glued that. And this is the same thing in a spray can, anti-bond. Let's use this thing. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it and hope I don't crack the board. Because then I will be making a regulator. Thing is, why make one if it's already here? I don't care if I crack the case. I just want to try to save the board inside. Get up there. You know what? Let me use this. Why don't I think of that? Why didn't you guys tell me that? I gotta get it open enough to see where the board is. That's all I want to do. Here we go. Okay, we're getting there. The other day they caught a bank robber. He was coming out of New Haven and he was heading up this way in a Lincoln. Apparently he was from Massachusetts or something, and he was trying to get back, I guess. They caught him in Old Saybrook. But you know, listening to the radio, you hear him coming and they're saying, I think he got off exit 54, which is here in Brantford. All right, and they said, no, I didn't see him get off exit 54. Wait a minute, I'm on 56 and I just see them go by, heading east. So at that point they just started catching up. And what he kept doing was, he kept getting on and off. So it was hard for them to, you know, try to catch up with him. Okay, so here's the board. That's what I wanted to save. Now, see, that does come apart because they even had a fuse in it. So where did it go? Well, the top came off anyway because it had a fuse in it. Alright, I don't care about this. I'm not going to use it again. I'm just going to wire it direct. I'll use a blade fuse instead of this piece of shit. So I'll just throw that in there with the blades for now. Alright, let's get these out of the way. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? UPS man. It's not the same guy. So what happens is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect these and I'll just put a wire on here instead of splicing, this being the hot. So, which is center. Guys, come on, give him a break. He decided to park in front of the house next door, thinking that he's sneaking into the front door with a package for me. But really, that doesn't work because they know the sound of the truck. He would actually have to coast in. All right, so yeah, what are you gonna do? All right, I got the solder iron going, the one that never wants to work. Let's turn it on and see what we can come up with here. I gotta put a handle on this thing. You know what else I gotta do? I got a set of hedge clippers, big ones, and they're in good shape, just that they were left out, so they have a lot of surface rust on them. I gotta soak them, add some voltage to the system. All right, let me find something to work on here. Hold on. I'm not going to be applying voltage to this, but I'll just put it on a mat because you get used to doing. If I got used to doing this, which I am, I would do it. So if I did apply voltage to it, I'm fine. You know, if I got used to doing this, the next thing you know, I apply voltage to it, I'd short it out. So get used to doing things. Okay. Muscle memory, that's what it's called. Come on, guys. Let's zoom up here. Come on. Let's do something. Get hot. Oh, what did I do? Turn the wrong fucking one? Yeah, I did. Oh, sure. You know, I've been going back and forth to an eye doctor. One is, I really didn't care for the guy that I had. He should have found out this a long time ago. I finally changed eye doctors, and I got new glasses. They work. I had to pay for them, unfortunately, because it went beyond the so-called warranty with the insurance company. You know, and I wasn't far enough in to get another new pair. So I had to pay for them. Cost me. They did pay for the doctor naturally, but the eye doctor. But I had to pay. It cost me $380, I think it was, for the new lenses. But anyway, the guy I went to this time, he actually knows what's going on in the real world. After I told him, you know, that things don't seem to be working right, he did a retina scan, and he came back and he told me, I may have told you this. What happens is, when I'm looking, and I didn't even realize this, to be honest with you, but that's what was making me not see clearly at times. I mean, I can see clear, I can see sharp, but sometimes I have a problem reading things or lining things up. Well, what happens is, the retina, the way he described it with the scan that he had done, supposed to look on his scan like this. Now, we're talking about an eye now, guys. Get your mind out of the gutter. Where he says, my right eye is fine. My left eye is kind of like this. So it hasn't got the smooth line, nor does it have the depth of that little dip. Now, what he's saying is, because of that, when I'm looking at a straight line, and this is true now that I see it, the line looks like this. So when I'm looking at something, one eye is seeing a straight bar, you know, like this, and the other eye is seeing that. So if I'm looking at them one bar together, I'm seeing that. You know, almost like a double vision thing. And that was the problem. And that's what is also affecting my reading. because I've been having problems reading a lot, line to line, and getting everything mixed up. Because if I'm reading a bunch of characters on one line, and then I go to the next line, what happens? Because of that wave, that line is going like this on me, which means now the word that was here is now up here into this one. So I'm mixing words in lines. You follow me? So I have to basically cover my left eye if I want to see a straight line. If I cover my left eye, everything is perfect. If I cover my right eye, everything is perfect as long as I'm not looking at something that's straight. Right? So, but that's what it is. Right? Now, I don't know how I got on that subject. But anyway. Okay, now is that solder iron hot enough? Is that solder iron hot enough to get some of this off? And probably not. It doesn't feel that way. Oh, there's that other spring. Not the other spring, but I can use that. I'll throw that away. Hey Tuck, how you doing, little buddy? Let's see if I can get this off here. You know what? Let me do this first. Seeing I've got to see something. I'm talking about bad eyes. And what am I doing here? I have no idea. There we go. Now what did I just knock down? Screwdriver. That magnet was in a good place until you start to do something that you wasn't planning on doing. Let's clean off the old ring here. Alright, now. Okie dokie, guys. Hey, you know what I've noticed lately? Let's get the ground out of the way. Hopefully this will work. Like I said, this is the worst solder station I've ever owned. It works when it wants to work. And I have it cranked up right now. I gotta buy a new one. That's all there's to it. Every time I use this, I say that. See, I don't use it enough to aggravate me. But when I do use it, it aggravates me. If I really had to get into some board making or circuit design again, which I would never do, I'll buy the board and make it work. I would have to have another solder iron. I'm probably going to have to buy another station anyway, because if I want to wire a microphone or something for the radio, this one's just not going to work. You end up making more of a mess out of it than you actually do in trying to repair what you're trying to repair. Hold on a minute, I'm looking for my brush. Somewhere around here I got a steel brush. There it is. I know the tip is clean, but we're going to do it again just for the hell of it. And you can see that the tip is clean. Come on, get out of there. And just for the hell of it, I will just make sure that we're still a little snug. And let's see. I guess I could put a dot of solder on it. That'll help take it off. Because if it heats up the solder going on, it'll melt the solder that's already there. But it should do it without me going through all that bullshit. It just doesn't want to do it. It's just a piece of shit. It really is. I gotta stop buying crap that I really don't need and buy something I need. But I don't think of it until, look, I'm telling you, this thing is on. It's set at 480 degrees. Turn on and off a few times. Let's see what happens. You know, it's one of those stations that has the heat gun, it has the solder station, it's both a veritable tent, it has a small 1.5 amp 12 volt or adjustable voltage from like 3 volts to 16 volts, you know, a little power supply. It's only like 1.5 amps though, so it's not a big supply. So it was a nice little station if it would work. You know, the idea is good. I should have known when I bought it that the price was going to indicate a piece of shit. I mean, I'm telling you guys, this is set for 480 degrees. I'm probably going to have to change the tip again. It's like I got to change the tip every time I use it. If I use it for a minute or an hour, it doesn't make a difference. $480 degrees, right. Tell me another one. I don't want to take a chance with this one. I said that tip, there's really nothing wrong with that. Why the fuck is it giving me such a hard time? I should clean that off too, but this indicates a piece of shit anyway, just the way that tip is on there. I guess I'm going to have to do a little research and get myself another solder station. I'm going to do it today. I don't like the solder pencils that you plug in. I like the stations. I've always had them. I used to have a Weller at the store. And I've told you this story 100 times, I'm sure. I used to turn that on in the morning when I came in. Turn on the bench. All the equipment turns on. Solder iron turned on. Solder station. And it would be on all day from open to close. So open would be anywhere from, we opened at 9, but sometimes I used to get there at 8. Sometimes I used to get there at 6, but most of the time it was 8 o'clock. So even if I went from 9 to 9, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, half a day on Sunday, that station was on. I maybe have to change the tip about every 4 or 5 weeks, just the tip. Maybe, if I remember right, I replaced the pencil part twice in 3 years. Come on. No, see, it doesn't want to work. You know, it could be just a regulator or something inside. You know, it's showing the voltage, but it's not coming out. Where's the brush? Where's the brush? Let's clean this part, just for the hell of it. I mean, this is, every time I use this thing, this is what I have to go through. This is crazy. They give you 10 tips when you buy it. It's a good thing that they do, because I got to keep changing it. Now this one here was changed, and I think I had 10 minutes on it. Come on, there you go. Now the pencil, where it plugs into the unit, it's like a 4-pin mic plug, and sometimes the pins would screw up, like they would be, you know, collapsed, or on the female side they would be spread a little too much, so you'd have to go in and kind of open it up a little bit or close it a little bit depending on what end you're working on, and it would work almost like a mic plug. Sometimes you'd have to do it with that as well, but at this point that didn't work. I don't know if it's worth taking apart. I don't even have a schematic on it, so I'd have to really search every piece out, which really isn't hard, but I haven't done it in so long. That's the problem. You know, you forget. Yeah, you really do. Look at this. The new tip is still don't want to work. I bet you if I turn the system on and off, right here, let's see, where's the on-off switch? Now I just turned it all off and turned it back on again, giving it like a little poof. This is why the videos become so long. Do yourself a favor, I don't care how cheap it is, never buy one of these stations. Oh, we're getting smoke, so that seems to have done it just by shutting it on and off. Now, I don't have any solder wick, but I don't think I'm going to really need it. I can probably just do what I'm doing here and not worry about it. That's if this thing keeps working. Yeah, looks like it wants to stop working again. Yeah, there it goes. See what it starts to do, it wants to start to burn the board before it actually starts to solder. So it's hot enough to burn, but it's not getting hot enough to take the solder. And I think I'm out of solder wick. It probably wouldn't work anyway. Where's my little nippers? Where's my little nippers? My little nippers. I'm just going to cut it off now. At least I got it away from the board enough to where I can snip it off. And then it may work easier because it hasn't got all the heat, all the metal to act as a heat sink. No, not really. But you know what? It's okay. Alright, I'm going to solder right to this side only, because I only need this side. This is just a jump through the piece itself. Now the center, this is the one that's going to be a little striagonous, because this gun is not working. Alright, see, already it stopped. Okay, now it started. You know, the thermostat may be bad. That's what happens sometimes when you buy Chinese. You know, they're trying to get into the market, but yet they're not quite good enough. Sometimes you get some good, sometimes you get some bad. And they're not stupid. They figure they're going to charge you enough to make some money on it. But they're not going to charge you enough to where you're going to say, oh, you know what, it's not worth sending back. I got to send it back to China to get it fixed. It's going to cost me more to send it back than it would be to buy a new one. So meanwhile, they sell you shit. They got your money. And you got nothing but a piece of shit. And it's true. If you're going to send it back to China, it'll cost you an arm and a leg, and it'll take you 2-3 months before you get your product back. Come on. Just heat up enough for me to get this done. That's all I'm asking here, guys. I'm not asking for a lot. Well, it doesn't want to heat up enough to get this piece out. Well, I can cut that out too, but I actually wanted to pull this one out. Okay. Okay, see this pin here, this ground isn't even connected. It was only connected through the other. When that ground piece came around, it was one solid piece. So it was just giving you a ground. This was like a standoff for it, basically. So I only have to put my ground on this side. And the center, which goes in there, that I want to get out. But again, it's giving me a hard time. This Fatchim solder iron. What do I do? Got to turn it off again. That's it. When I get off, when I'm done with this, because I got to get it done today. I got everything disconnected in the van. I am going to order a new one. I mean, well, I got to fuck with this. I do have a pencil around here someplace. That might be the way to go. Stop dealing with this thing. Oh, good. Now it decides it wants to do what I want it to do. Well, I turned it back off again. Now the only reason why I was trying to get it out is because I want to make sure, because it's coming through the board, so I want to make sure that it doesn't short out against something on the other side. I only have to solder the side that I'm working on, but because there's a piece up in here that can short out because the way they installed it, I want to get it out. That's it right there. There, okay. Whew. Good. All right, let me turn this off again because I don't want it to overheat. I got to find some wire now to extend this with. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Doesn't have to be anything super large. It's just got to be long enough. That will do it right there. So I always keep a little extra wire hanging around. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That may not be long enough. Arrgh. Arrgh. Arrgh, meaty. Here's some of my small scrap wire. I really don't need to use those. I just need some more small. Oh, here's some speaker wire. I can use that. I know that's long enough. A little heavier than what I need, but it's okay. I can deal with that. Put this back in here. Yeah. Put this in here a little bit more. And put that there. And put this back over here. Alright, yeah, this one is a good length. Good. Good deal. I don't need those. Or where do I? No. Those are too small, so I don't need those. I will need them, but not that size. Now the important part here is to remember what one you're using for what. I am going to use the dark side for the power. Let me find. There we go. I gotta order more of these too. Yeah, I like these. To me, these are always work. They work on any size. You know, you use your pinky finger for adjustment. You know, you get used to it, and it's always there for you. Alright, so now I'm going to try to tin these a little bit. Yeah, I am. Hopefully the solder iron will work. Let's turn it back on again. Let me get some solder. Now there's another screw up. I ordered solder from both Radio Shack and another operation. And for some reason, and I know I ordered it right because the invoice that they sent to me has the right number on it. And instead they sent me this thick shit that I can weld with. Now the thing is, sometimes you have use for it, so it's not a big deal. But most of the time, I have no use for it. And again, I have a solder iron that doesn't want to work. Come on, get up there. Let's see if you're going to do something for me here. Do a little tinning, if it will work. Come on, be nice. We got 2 little solder joints to make here, guys. So let's see what we can do. Yeah, I don't need much from you. I'm not asking for much. I'm only asking that you work for a second or two. That's all I'm asking. Now maybe I can get that right through the same hole. I sure can. Boy, it's a wonderful thing when a plan comes together. Let's put it this way because I don't want to short out against the other. The other is well, the other is also voltage, so it's not a big deal. Now I'm going to try to solder here with a solder that's 10 times too much that I need. With a solder station that doesn't want to work. And I'm going to have to put it right on there. I don't want to do that. You can very easily short out the board with a solder bridge without even realizing it. There, okay. Now there is a little solder bubble right there. There it goes. Okay, you're gone. Now I'm going to solder into this one. I don't really care if I go through or not. I'm just going to actually solder it right to the tab. I'm not going to try to get any luckier than I've already been. I will scrape that off a little bit though, so I can see a little bit more of the board. Come on, be nice. Yeah, these little projects take so damn long because of stupid little things. This is something I could have had done 20 minutes ago if the solder station was working right. You know, I mean, it really pisses me off sometimes. It pisses me off because I keep dealing with it. Now, even if it wasn't a China problem, because this is a piece of China shit, basically. and I bought this locally, if I went back to complain about it, I'm a bad guy. Yeah, I got screwed, but I'm the bad guy. Right? Yeah, I bought something I wanted to work. You know, don't complain because you're going against the grain. So let everybody fuck you and smile. Don't complain. Just smile. Oh, I just got fucked. Great. I love it. Anybody else? Okay, I can deal with that. Now, you know what I might do? Yeah, I think I prematurely threw out the piece. Let me see if I can find it again. It should be local there in the trash can. Shouldn't be too far in. Yeah, it should be. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Good deal. You know what? I'm just going to use this as a support. Basically. Just to keep everything in place and not worry about it shorting out. You're not even going to see it, so I don't care. And what I'll do is I'll squirt a little silicone right there to lock that in, so it'll give me some relief. So I won't worry about the wire pulling off and ripping the board. I'll just snap it back together, hopefully. There we go. Good deal. That's all I need. I just need something enough. Time out. Time out. Where's my little clippers? Gotta get this out of the way because this wire is a little bit heavier than that piece of metal that was there. And again, a 5-minute job turns out to be a half hour or better because of the bullshit and stuff not wanting to work. I don't know about you guys, but I get tired of it. I really do. But again, you can't complain. You complain, and there's something wrong with that. You know what I mean? And if you get upset, you know, then they want to, you know, don't yell at them. Oh, God forbid if you yell at them. Come on, where are you? I'm going to do one wrap. Just one little wrap to hold together for a minute. Nice tight wrap. Here we go. And to hold that in place, because when tape gets hot, it has a tendency of wanting to unravel. So I usually put a zip tie over where the end of the tape is, like that, so that it can't unravel. And then I do this so you can get cut later. But this isn't going to be in a place to where I got to worry about getting cut. So if it was, I would twist it off and not cut it off. Okay, so we have everything we need. If I get my foot off it, we have everything I need here. Now on this side, I just got to put an eyelid for the ground and a for the connector. So let me find a little bit of eyelid. A red one would be the right one. I don't know if I have a little red one. A little red one? I do. All right. And do I have a blue? I do. I don't have a red, but I got a blue for that and a red for that. got to strip this a little bit more. There. Should I get ballsy and try to put some solder on these? Why not? Solder station. Well, it's still on, so let's see if it works. It's always better to have a little solder on it, have it tinned, instead of having just bare wires to unravel on you. But you need a good solder iron to do this with. See, now it wants to work, but again, it's not the best in the world. And the solder here is not what I'm used to using. But again, just a lot of excuses, I guess. Alright. So, like I said before, that's fucking guy with the boat. The red is not hot in this case. The red is ground because I'm using the dark wire. I want to make sure the dark wire for the hot, but I don't have a red Uzi me garment there, so I'm going to use the red here, but that doesn't indicate hot at this point. That just indicates it's going to a ground, because that's the right size for that wire. And this is going to plug into the fuse box that I have under the seat. Now normally I wouldn't take that red off there, and I probably will, because if anybody else ever worked on my van, they may take that as being hot and then blow up the GPS. And it wouldn't be any fault of theirs for doing it. I mean, in a way it would be for not checking. However, you know, why do I want to make their work harder and take a chance of them burning something up, and then me again having to deal with it because I didn't do what I should have done. You follow me? Sometimes we are our worst enemies. So, you know, we fuck up and then we want to blame everybody else for it. You know, shit happens. You know what? So I am going to take that off there. I don't want to take a chance. Usually nobody works on my van but me, but you never know. Come on, let's be nice. Stop being a pain in the ass. There. Okay. All right, let me throw a little silicone up in there. This stuff here, oh, that's going to make a mess now because it's already half out. But this stuff here, believe it or not, I use it a lot. This is the closest thing to that 5200 marine product that's out there by 3M. That 5200 is good stuff. It takes a while to set up, but it's good stuff. It's almost impossible to take it apart if you apply it right. You need like a piano wire to get it off. Why am I looking for a rag? I always wipe on my shirt. That's why I wear these crummy shirts to work, or to the shop. When I'm out here in the shop, I look like shit. I look like shit anyway, but you know, more so. But where is this stuff? It is a, I'm sure you guys seen it. I'm not the only one in the world that's used this stuff. And I think this is sold all over the country, Steve. Like I say, it may take a day or so to really set up, but it's good stuff. I mean, I've used this to put 1/4-inch glass, you know, on a wall, for crying out loud, and it works. I mean, the stuff is good stuff. Oh, Pango. try that again. Okay. 5200 by 3M. You'll find that a lot in marine stores because they claim you can apply it underwater, but you can't. If you can, I haven't figured out how. But it is waterproof once it's in. You know, if you have a leak, it's good. It won't take pressure like on a water pipe, but it's good stuff. It really is. But it's also expensive. The last time I bought it was some time ago. And back then it was like 12 bucks a tube. I bet you it's close to 20 bucks a tube right now for the same size. That's like 5 bucks a tube. And why I said thanks, Steve, because Steve in Canada showed some roof repair product that he had up there. And I said, whoa, all right, I got all hyped up on it. You know what? Can't find it here in the States. So the only place I was able to find it is at Canadian Tire. I haven't called there yet to find out if I can order it and have them ship it into the country. I don't know. I'd probably buy a couple gallons because it seems like what I would need, regardless of where I'm moving or living. Or if we move or stay, who knows at this point. But it's good stuff. So, all right.